No, as you can see, we are preparing ourselves quite well for, and what I can tell you for the coming campaign, it won't be easy. We need a lot of patience, a lot of hammering, and changing customs is not easy, especially in a place like Gibraltar. But as you can see from the press, in UK, the campaign is getting on very well. Even government is starting to realize that people welcome these changes. In Gibraltar, we have seen how at last one private owner of a restaurant has finally decided to go smoke-free in his restaurant. That was announced yesterday, I think. And I believe that if let's take one shop starts changing from plastic bags to cloths, others will follow. We have approached and we've been in contact with both Morrisons and Marks and Spencers, which are about the biggest businesses we have in Gibraltar, and they are already working at it. We will press them further to introduce maybe a charge on plastic bags to deter people, but of the free plastic bags, and to buy what they also have in stock, which are other types similar to this one, black bags and other alternative to plastics. Even if it is a hard-wearing plastic bag which you use, but you reuse it again and again, that means a saving on normal plastic bags. So an idea is to have one of these. This one is very, very handy because you can fold it very neatly and put it in your bag. This is just for 60p in Morrisons. I don't want to make advertising for anybody, but they help our cause, so I say it. And if you go to Marks and Spencer, you also find very good bags. And unless there's anything else.
For example, many households use the plastic bags to dispose of the rubbish. So what would be the alternative to that? Because
you want to take that one?
I think some people were mentioning that Morrisons had biodegradable refuse bags, but that they were only available in a very large size, which was more useful for commercial purposes. And I think as part of the contact with Morrisons, we were going to raise whether they should bring different smaller sizes, because given that most of our rubbish will end up in a landfill site in Spain, if it's buried and it's biodegradable within soil, then great. And
the other important thing is with biodegradable bags, they have to be composted at high temperatures also. There's no point in taking a biodegradable bag to Los Barrios if they don't process it in the right way also. So there has to be some sort of infrastructure set up so that the actual recycling plant there knows that we are sending just biodegradable bags also. Because also if it's a plastic bag that can be recycled, that's another thing that they could use over there. Okay, it's a question of using recyclable plastic or biodegradable plastic.
And the right size, obviously, so that people...
Yeah, which is something which we'll bring up with Morrisons once we start our campaign and start contacting these companies. Yeah. And Morrisons is very keen to help. So, I mean, it's ridiculous, the size of the bags they have.
The large ones.
They have other sizes, but I don't know if the other sizes are also biodegradable.
They sell recycled biodegradable bags, but they're very, very big.
Yeah. And what about the others? They are wide, they are not recyclable. So we have to make these big ones brought in at a smaller size. And this is something which is on our agenda.
You can always use the chronicles and make parcels out of your rubbish, like they used to do in the old days as well. That's biodegradable.
Yeah.
The thing is that
she's left them.
The thing is that to use to dispose of the chronicles as well.
It's only until about 30 years ago, going back 30 years, that these plastics came into being by some German scientist who found a viscose in one of his experiments, the viscose element there, and from there they started investigating further, and finally we ended up with the plastic bags, which are a scourge nowadays. But before that, everybody used to go shopping and they took the bags, just like that. This can also, or the typical canasta, the basket, you know.
In fact, it's a very short period in time, from
Yeah.
like my grandmother's age,
Yeah.
and then now recently we've been using plastic bags. Now we
You
can
have
go
a
away.
metal sort of dustbin though that hot ashes used to be able to be put in. And the dustbin men used to come and empty your dustbins
Well,
in
That's
England.
new to me.
Not here from,
In UK.
in the UK, yeah.
Mm.
Because I was trying to think what happened to rubbish when I was a child, you know, and of course it just went directly into the bin.
Yeah, well, it all boils down to the way that society has become consumer hungry, you know. And whereas before we didn't have the money to spend as much as today. Today we are spending much more, and we want more and more, and we are buying things which we really don't need, and we are buying things which are much more than we need to eat. Just before, we just a plate of soup and a steak was enough. Today we want to buy the biscuits, the chocolates, the crisps, and all these sort of things which, you know, our shopping ends up with about easily 10 to 15 plastic bags with each of us, you know.
Of course, we are
And many of the things-
presumably here as well, but certainly in England, you'd only go a few doors up to a little shop nearby every day and just buy a few things.
Well, supermarkets have got rid of those. That's what happened. The big stores, the supermarkets are just killing the small grocery shops which we used to know. It's completely broken as well. They just cannot compete.
Yeah.
And obviously, one of the, I don't think we'll find, obviously there will be difficulties with the big stores, but my most serious concern is with the small Indian tobacconist shops, you know, where the people from Spain come over to buy their cigarettes, the cartons, the sugar, and the Indians give away thousands of plastic bags, you know, which are of the worst kind.
And other grocers.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Yeah.
Sí, no solo los indios, ¿eh?
Well, Indians and others. Yes.
Tañeto, Anglipano.
A big problem, Ernest, to get.
No, what I was trying to say is that it would be easier to compete big enterprises than these
And
small
maybe they
ones.
might hold out and not want to change.
Yeah.
An issue which is obviously very big and we can't ignore, but which it would be very difficult for us in Gibraltar to change is packaging. And if you do go to Morrison's or to Carrefour or whatever, and you buy a certain amount of groceries, it's the sheer amount of packaging that they bring.
Yeah.
It's only when you throw all the rubbish away and you think, hang on, what was in there? And how long did the food last? Maybe 3 days. And how many bags of rubbish am I throwing away?
Yeah, I suppose that one thing could lead to another. Once we get rid of plastic bags, we will dedicate on the packaging.
In Germany, in places like Germany, you're entitled to go to the shop which have sold you those items with the packaging,
Take
and
them
you
back.
you can take them back to the shop, and they are legally required to recycle them. So it's little things like this that.
Because you must.
Exactly.